YouTube section. There are plenty of new comics, but they all suck. Two I recently saw were the Girl Pirates and Girl Zorro and Wonder Woman, who is drawn as ugly as possible with shifting ethnicities. It's really freaking weird. So many varieties of cancer. And how do I say this? Get yourself a Liberty device and some big bottles of pepper spray. Liberty devices, you might go for the 12 gauge for the home version, 45 for carry, where you can legally carry. You can get a new 45 for like $200 or less. It does not have to win awards, it just has to work. Though if there's one area you want to budget for, if you can afford more, spend more, but you don't want something like a super high dollar Liberty device, because actually some of those are kind of finicky on the ammunition. They don't feed with different varieties of ammo for some reason. You just want your basic thing that can take all varieties, hotter rounds, gentler rounds, different masses, that kind of thing. You just something basic. You just got to be accurate to 15 feet. That's all you need. It just has to work. I've seen many conflicts where you've got a few gentlemen approaching a person. Now, most people are not going to pull out the Liberty device. They're just not conditioned that way, unless you live in Brazil or something, where Brazilians don't play around. They are conditioned. Those dudes are hardcore. They will pull the strap out if you get too close. And like people in Brazil are very, very cautious, as well they should be. It's the most diverse nation on earth, and it's also a shithole. Surprise. Correlation's not causation, but anyway. But if you had a medium-sized bottle of pepper spray, these guys, you could have pepper sprayed all three of the attackers. The spray is very effective. And we're not living in the good old days where if a suspicious-looking person is walking towards you, just pull out the spray and use it. Don't be a victim. I have uploaded some of the videos on my second account. They show suspicious-looking people attacking normies who are terrified to be called istophobic. And YouTube is probably going to nuke that channel in a week. Most of the attacks I saw are where people had plenty of time to pull out the spray and take down several people, because they usually attack in packs. As soon as you see them, get the spray out. When they get in distance, use it. Just use it. Some conflict you cannot avoid by being nice. You absolutely must use force. A suspicious person is not coming to bum a smoke or ask the time. He's coming to beat you to death, then take your wallet, cell phone, and shoes. Why do I say that? Because I've seen 100 videos of just that. Things are going to get worse as your population shrinks. And how do I say this without getting another strike on YouTube? I guess I can't. If I had free speech, if I was independently wealthy enough to live in a bunker in Montana, I'd get on Bitchute and D-Live and put Nick Fuentes to shame for being a liberal pussy. The events over the past few years have made me accept some hard truths that I didn't think I would ever come to. Anyway, don't think of this as a black pill. Maybe it's a phoenix pill. Burn it all down and start over. Accelerate it. No brakes on this train. Diversity is our strength. Anyway, enough Fed posting. Oh, last thing, if you're a chick and you're looking at a cute little 380, which is fine, it's better than nothing, you may want to take a look at the 45s. You'll be fine, I promise. Just squeeze it tight and hold on. You're not going to war. You're probably not going to fire more than 3 rounds. Okay, so comics, they have gotten worse. They're in some pretty dark territory these days. I read this new one about a lady pirate, and you expect it to be silly and feminist with 120-pound women beating up 240-pound men, which you can definitely see. She effortlessly accomplishes that. But there's a scene where the pirates slaughter a British warship, which in itself was a little weird. The pirates were so cavalier about slaughtering the Marines. Of course, they're sexist because they look like hobbits, little sexist hobbits. But when they slaughtered the Marines, it felt dehumanizing. Like the writers and editors really hated the English people. The whole thing is going to leave you with a funny feeling. It was way too violent. Like the English weren't even human. Then there's a wounded Englishman who has blonde hair, blue-eyed, because I see that again in 90% of the comics. He's dying, and the female pirate burns him alive. It's a scene that will stop you in your tracks. Even the normie reader is going to know that something is wrong with this scene. There is something wrong with the whole team that worked on this. Killing in comic books, even a pirate story like this where violence is expected, there are just ways to do it better ways to do it. You might just show the ship sinking in the distance, but here they're stepping over bloody bodies with the ship on fire. Finally, she burns a wounded prisoner alive. That is pretty sick. The writers and the team are telling you what they think of blonde, blue-eyed men. They want to kill them. Do this thought experiment. Imagine if the injured guy was a black cook and the woman burned him alive and walked off like a boss. But that would never happen. Black men are invisible to them. They only hate blonde men. Well, they're invisible as long as they can use them. They wouldn't even use a Spanish, Portuguese, or Italian with black hair. It's got to be a blonde with blue eyes. I only say that because it's in 90% of the comics. It could be set in Central Africa, and they would find a way to introduce a German-looking guy to make him the bad guy. So every opportunity they have to make the Englishmen malicious, petty, and vicious, they take, even to the point of absurdity. When, if you actually analyze who's doing what, the female pirates is a sociopath. I get it. She's invaded a ship and they kill everyone aboard. All right, fair enough. But you might just want to have her cut the throat. End him with a little dignity. He's begging for his life, and the ship's on fire. It's going to sink. Everyone's dead around him. He's slowly dying. You just cut his throat, or you skip those kind of scenes. You've made the good guys. Here's the thing about SJWs: they're fundamentally bad people, and they don't know how to write heroes because they don't have heroes. Who are their heroes? Marx, Engels, Lenin, Stalin, Mao, Castro, Pol Pot, Papa Doc. They have authoritarian, violent dictators as their heroes, where it's their way or there's violent repercussions. So they can't write normie characters because they're fundamentally not normie people. They are violent, evil people who don't want you to be violent, but they definitely believe that might makes right. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, so every opportunity instead of portraying your pirates as like a romanticized and kind of cool and sexy and lovable vagabonds, no, the pirates are just evil sociopaths. The woman is the worst one in the crew. She throws a Molotov cocktail essentially at the guy and watches him burn alive. And then the writers and they all have her walk away and posing like, yeah, I'm a badass. I'm leaving this chaos behind me. No, you fundamentally misunderstood the art of storytelling. You don't have... That scene is from many, many movies where you have the hero with the explosions going on in the background. You wouldn't have the hero torture the enemy to death, to burn them alive, and think that you're being heroic. That's insane. That's what crazy people do. That's what sociopaths do. That's what people who cannot empathize with the plight of others do. And a lot of SJWs are, here she effortlessly defeats a 200-pound man. Sure, no problem. She doesn't even need her hands for it. She's got her sword, but she doesn't even need that. They cannot write good characters because it goes against the narrative. And their narrative is everything patriarchal is evil, when in reality, no, it's not. It seems to work in many societies. Most societies has got just some kind of patriarchy working on. And the English are evil, of course, because they're blonde-haired and blue eyes, and they vaguely remind them. They always come out of like Aryan central casting. It's really weird. Anyway, so these are the writers and the pencilers. Fair enough. Let's take a closer. Okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Don't say it. Just move on. Well, he just, I won't say that anyway. Anyway, so these are the, I don't know, the colors and the letter or something, who use they and them pronouns. Okay, because it's trendy and you want attention. You don't believe in they and them pronouns. You're not non-binary. You're just a human. All humans are somewhere on a spectrum of tropes of masculinity and femininity. Yes, you're still a man if you have feminine characteristics. Because if gender is a social construct, then what are feminine characteristics? Things we commonly see in females that they do in a structured society. Well, yeah, but in America, in a first world country, you can do almost anything. So are there really feminine and masculine characteristics? Not really. So they use they and them, shaved head, gauges in the ear, piercings, and oh so random picture. Here's the thing about soy boys and soy people, the people of the soy. They don't just smile in a photo, because to smile in a photo looking like a normie, like, hey, yeah, what's up? You know, I'm happy, I'm living life. It's like the other people who see that think, you have nothing to smile about in Trump's America. How dare you smile when there's one marginalized and oppressed person, whatever. It's like, well, you know, I'm working on a comic book, I'm cracking a beer, having a pretty good life, writing what I love. See, that's the thing, is they don't love anything. They're not writing what they love, because they're writing propaganda. And even them, I don't know if they really believe their bullshit. I hope they don't. I think they do. They've been immersed in this propaganda narrative for so long that to break out of it is almost impossible for them. Though some do when they're younger. They see it and they break out of it, and they I don't know. It requires a certain IQ and a certain ability to just like put your internal bias out of the way. Pay me attention, basically. It's like, these are the people of pay me attention, and this is the comic book of pay me attention. How many people bought this comic book? I don't know. Not many. Why do they keep writing it? I assume because they have other sources of financing. Let me get to the beginning. Where they're not a man among you. They're not depending on these comics for a living. Because if you're depending on comics for a living, you're going to write Jawbreakers and Cyberfrog and Lonestar, all that kind of stuff, because you need the stuff to sell to. You want to buy a vacation home or pay your mortgage on a rental property. You get what I'm saying? You want to buy an RV. You know what? That costs money. These people are selling an ideology. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. You want to support the channel. Support my vitally important work. I'm doing the Lord's work. I know I'm doing the Lord's work. You can hit up my PayPal, Patreon, Coffee, or just, I've got a P.O. box if you want to send me something to edit. Or you can edit your Comicsgate project and make a video out of it. All right, guys, I will see you all next episode.